Welcome! In this short video, I will show you all the features of our dashboard. The first and most powerful feature of the dashboard is the automatic scanner. This scanner analyzes tens of thousands of global markets in just one click and finds the best trading opportunities for each month. Every month, you can discover signals that boast over 90% win rates in statistical backtesting. The scanner filters markets into various categories: top markets, indices, US stocks, ETFs, Forex, commodities, crypto, and more. Within the scanner, you can search for the best long opportunities and the best short opportunities, as well as filter by risk-reward ratio or market capitalization. By clicking on this search box, you have access to advanced statistical calculations for over 90,000 global markets. Any index, future, ETF, stock, Forex pair, or other asset is available in our system, and the statistics are at your disposal. We have a comprehensive database covering all global exchanges, and the search can be easily filtered by exchange, geographical region, or asset type. Search suggestions will provide you with real-time results. By clicking on an entry, the system will automatically calculate all its statistics: seasonality, cycle analysis, special recurrences, daily and weekly performance, and more. On the right, you can stay up to date with the latest news released for the selected stock. With one click, you gain access to the company profile. Clicking on this other button gives you access to financial analysis. Our system analyzes the company's financial statements and calculates a series of ratios to assess its financial health. At the top, you'll find a basic summary panel that provides key information, dividends, and a set of general ratings. Next, we have ratings from top rating agencies, which recommend strong buy, hold, sell, or strong sell. Additionally, our system detects all price targets released by rating agencies and professional analysts, providing the average target price. Here, you can see various economic and financial indicators. We offer over 50 fundamental analysis indicators, and a red, yellow, or green light instantly indicates the quality of each ratio. Clicking on any indicator opens a detailed explanation. At the bottom, you'll find a summary of these ratios. Next, we have financial statement analysis with multiple selectable years, and finally, insider trading information on company executives. Now, let's explore the true power of the dashboard: seasonality and intra-monthly statistics. This chart shows the annual seasonality pattern of the analyzed market. In this graph, you can see clear bullish and bearish trends throughout the year. If the market were random and lacked habitual patterns, it would be impossible to find such trends. Fortunately, the market has its own habits, and we can take advantage of these recurring patterns. But an average chart alone is not enough. We need more. By selecting the trend of interest with the mouse, the dashboard calculates the backtest of the strategy. This section backtests how the market has moved during the selected time period, year by year. If this backtest shows a stable bullish or bearish trend, it means that our portfolio would have grown steadily by trading long or short based on this signal. The dashboard provides both cumulative returns and the bars for each individual year, along with a summary of win percentages. Our goal is to find a strategy that has a favorable risk-reward ratio and as little fluctuation as possible. From the custom interval, we can select time frames as we wish for more in-depth analysis. In addition, we can also simulate a buy and hold strategy. Our database contains market data since the inception of each market. We can adjust the sample years and observe how the seasonality trend has changed and evolved over time. For example, by checking if the trend of recent years has remained stable compared to the past. Once we identify an interesting strategy, we can save it to our personal calendar by clicking this button. Scrolling down, your personal calendar will always be saved. This way, you will never miss an opportunity. Now, let's look at something even more interesting. We import the NASDAQ chart and analyze its trend. We reduce the sample years to observe the average trend over the last 20 years. Now, by clicking this button, the dashboard inserts the NASDAQ's performance for the current year. This blue curve updates automatically every day. Observe the spectacular correlation between the two curves. The Nasdaq is behaving exactly as our forecast suggested. From the other options, we also have the ability to compare individual past years with the average trend or with the current year to find and discover other recurrences. Additionally, the dashboard allows us to invert the direction of the average pattern. Beyond seasonality, our one-of-a-kind dashboard allows us to analyze any cycle we want to uncover additional recurrences in the market. Imagine the power of cycles in agricultural commodity futures. Think of the coffee market, which follows a natural multi-year flowering cycle. Here, you can see how multiple different cycles predicted that the Nasdaq had a high probability of declining between February and March 2025. And that's exactly what happened. Now let's import a longer historical data set for an even more interesting analysis. We open the S&P chart. Now we select the Special Years option. This is a very powerful feature that allows us to analyze the market's typical behavior during specific historical events, such as US elections, changes in Federal Reserve monetary policy, economic recessions, and many more. This list has just been released and will soon be expanded with many more events to analyze. Now, in our dashboard, we can analyze not only the presidential election cycle, but also distinguish between Republican and Democratic election victories. I have now selected Republican victories, so the system has generated the average market trend for an election year. Since we are now in 2025, I want to observe the year after the election. By clicking this plus button, I can now view the first year of a Republican presidency. Look at the average pattern. You can see how, in the first year of a Republican administration, the US stock market tends to decline between February and March. Imagine the advantage you could have had if you had access to a tool like this to plan your investments. I want to emphasize that our dashboard is continuously evolving, and in the coming months, we will release many new tools for cycle analysis, along with additional statistical techniques. This Special Years feature allows us to calculate the average trend of any set of years we choose. We can clear the list or add specific years separated by commas, and the dashboard will automatically calculate the average performance for the selected years. Another amazing feature of our dashboard is the analysis of the day of the year, the day of the month, and the day of the week. What you see here is the distribution of the average return for each individual day of the month. This tool helps us understand whether there are imbalances when Wall Street's big players buy or sell a specific asset. It's enough to say that when quantitative easing was active, markets consistently rose on specific days. These trends do not last forever and evolve over time. Those with professional tools to quickly detect these trends can gain significant advantages. On the right, you can see the cumulative backtest of performance, while the list displays all the days of the month ranked by long and short percentages. By clicking on an entry, its backtest will automatically open. We can also adjust the sample period as we wish. Similarly, we can analyze the distribution of weekdays to check if the market tends to be imbalanced on certain days. And almost always, it is. Finally, we can observe the performance of individual days of the year. Would you have ever guessed that a single day of the year has shown nearly a 90% uptrend since the 1960s? If the answer is no, imagine how many other incredible insights you could discover using this dashboard. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all our strategies remain saved in the calendar. What we can now do with our dashboard is simulate the performance of a portfolio over the last 35 years built using these strategies. Here, you can see both the cumulative performance and the year-by-year performance of how our portfolio would have evolved since 1990 if we had invested based on these cyclical signals. The results are simply amazing. With just a few simple strategies, we can observe a winning portfolio in 94% of the years, with limited drawdowns and extremely stable returns. Note that this portfolio is calculated using simple interest, meaning that profits are withdrawn each year instead of being reinvested. If we applied compound interest, the portfolio growth would be exponential. From these options, we can adjust the weight of each trade and analyze how portfolio performance changes when activating or deactivating different strategies. And now, finally, let's explore the last wonder of our software, the intraday dashboard. This dashboard is an experimental module, currently in version 1.0, but exciting new updates are on the way to enhance it. Anyone who subscribes during this period will receive all premium updates for free as part of their subscription throughout the year. This dashboard automatically calculates the average intraday pattern and daily trends over the most recent period to detect potential recurring market behaviors. A common mistake is to assume that statistics and cycles only work in the medium and long term. In reality, these trends also operate intraday, demonstrating that this is a powerful, universal technique. First of all, when working intraday, it is important to select the desired time zone. Now, the orange curve shows us the average pattern of the most recent period. The system automatically calculates how the market has been moving on average during this period, dynamically and intelligently updating this trend day by day. You can observe that, on average, in recent times, the market tends to drop around the Wall Street opening. Now, let's overlay the current day's performance onto this chart. At this moment, since we are at the end of the day, we can see in blue the entire evolution of the S&P during the day of March 7th, 2025. This curve updates progressively throughout the day. The average pattern indicated that it would have been better to remain short all morning. And that's exactly what happened. Intraday trends, however, remain active only for a short time, so it is essential for a professional trader to detect them immediately before the general public notices. Many institutional fund algorithms are based on these recurring patterns. From the options, we can select the sample over which the market trend should be calculated. And we can also filter the calculation to include only days that closed positively or negatively. In addition to the average pattern, we can compare different days with each other to manually search for special recurrences. Soon, an update will be released that automatically, with the help of AI, will analyze a 20-year intraday sample to identify the pattern most similar to the one currently repeating. Here you can see another example of crude oil on March 6, 2025, compared to its average pattern. Do you think it's a coincidence? In addition to the daily average pattern, we can analyze the monthly and weekly average patterns in exactly the same way. Scrolling further down, we find another important tool: the analysis of the distribution of the hours of the day. Our system examines every single hour to identify statistical biases present in each market and to detect bullish or bearish imbalances. As mentioned earlier, these trends tend to change over time, so it's essential to have software that automatically updates these calculations daily according to special parameters. On the right, you can see the distribution of the individual hours of the day. Even at first glance, it's possible to discern how the big players on Wall Street move throughout the day. It's very easy to capture whether the market tends to be bought or liquidated at the open, at the close, or at other moments during the day. This tool takes intraday trading to another level, the professional level. In the list on the right, the hours are ordered according to the recorded long percentage, so you can immediately identify the best hours of the day to go long and the best to go short. Beyond the hourly analysis, our dashboard goes even further by examining individual half-hour segments, all the way down to 5-minute intervals. If you enjoyed this tour and want to try our tools, don't hesitate to contact us for a free trial. Take your investment analysis to another level with Stockmarket-Statistics.com. Join us.